Man, I love that intro song. It really gets me hyped up here. Hey, good morning, everybody. Tim here, Gray Man POTA, out here at the Morgan Monroe State Forest, and do a little bit of POTA this morning. I was just looking at the muff map, and oh my God, that front. Sorry, man. We'll figure it out. You guys don't need to see my ugly face, anyways. But out here at the Morgan Monroe State Forest, looking at the muff map, it looks like 10 meters is pretty much where it is at this morning. It looks like it's open to Europe. So I'm going to actually. Well, that's not a good start. Losing my internet connection. But all right. So I'm going to go ahead and like I said, get up on 10 meters. Today, I'm going to be using the 891 here in the truck. So I've got a camera turned on for that, so you guys can see that. And then I'm going to be using Polo and to use it for my logging, and we'll go from there. I do have, let's see if I can do it here. I still need to get me a producer. Do have the antenna cam set up so you can see the ATOS go up and down like molasses in winter, or grass growing, however you want to look at that. And then just some other shots here of the lake this morning. I do need to find another place to set up out here. This is fine. The road is behind me. It's old State Road 37 that's out there, and I'm in a parking area that overlooks the Bryant Creek Lake Pond, whatever you want to call this thing, which is fine. But I'm still operating in the truck, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we're getting better weather now. So a little bit warmer this week than it was last week, and hopefully in the next couple weeks, it'll be a decent temperature where I can actually set up on the tailgate of the Bronco and do the activation from outside, because that's where I prefer to be. I really don't like sitting in the truck. The problem with this location, although it's good, there's really no simple place to set up an antenna, which I probably could string something up, but people walk along between the parking barriers and the thing, and I don't want to have to worry about people getting clotheslined. Although if I could record that would be an interesting thing to catch, but I don't want to have problems with that. So generally when I do park activations, I try to go away, and hence the name Gray Man POTA, go away from the public, and it's not from a sense of not wanting to do what we do, or talk to people about it. That's not the issue. I don't want to do a live stream like this, and or in the middle of an activation and have to answer questions, because I kind of like that fast-paced, rapid-fire type activations. But when there's a break or I'm not actively engaged in a pileup or something like that, by all means, I love to talk to people. But just kind of moving away from that allows me to spread out and not necessarily have to worry about it. All right, let's get Polo in here. And get going with that. All right, so I'm going to swing out to 10 meters. And I always think about this after the fact, so let's do it now before I forget. So I was on 40 meters last time I used the antenna, so it was up high on the position, introducing the smaller amount of inductive coil into the mix to tune it for 20 meter or 40 meters. So I'm sorry, rephrase that. A longer amount of inductive coil into the mix. So now it just moved down lower to reduce the amount of inductive coil, which will tune it more specifically for the 28 megahertz. So let's see if we can't find a frequency. Actually, just take a zip through the technician's portion here. Well, that doesn't sound promising, only because I'm not hearing anything. Cowboy Butler, I am running a ATOS, a Yaesu ATOS 120 antenna mounted on the hood of my Bronco. And as I had kind of mentioned before, the FT8 891 and the ATOS here in the truck are more my cold weather, inclement weather, kind of, I don't feel like getting outside kind of thing. Ideally, I prefer to get outdoors and be outside of the vehicle doing these things. I just trying to live stream or setting up. I'm about prioritizing and efficiency. And so I like I said, I don't mind setting up antennas, but I want to spend more time on the air, less time messing around with equipment. I want stuff that I can roll right up and go live. All right, so I'm gonna just throw a frequency in here and try to get some spots. Let's see what it doesn't look like anybody's spotting on 10 meters, but tell you what, I'd rather have contacts right now. Look at you guys having to sit here and watch me call CQ in the wind. So let's go start off on 40. I know there's a crew here that's generally in the area. Local to me that I can still we can work on 40 meters earlier in the morning. So 232, the station looks like in Maryland. I didn't hear anybody in Maryland. 194. Although this was 8 minutes ago, so they may not even. 259.
Echo 4, Lima Sierra. Alpha 4, Lima Sierra. Got you 5-9 into the log, sir. Charlotte, North Carolina. Roger, thank you so much for Charlotte, North Carolina. I'll be heading back to Mount Airy here very shortly. Very cool. Have a great day. Have a great weekend. 73, this is November 4 Charlie, QRZ.
November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, park to park.
CQ parks on the air, CQ parks on the air. This is November 4 Charlie, QRZ.
All right, he didn't hear me. Wow, I think I got a little ahead of the game here. Hey Vaughn, you and Julie got to be out doing an activation this morning. I forgot to put in my activity here. So I am doing a POTA, and my park number is 4215. Now, if I had a GPS enabled laptop, it would have picked that up. There's some other cool utilities that they've added into POTA. Template for the nearest park is pretty cool. It will automatically just add the parks in that you're in if you've got the GPS enabled with precision. If you don't have precision, you're going to get, it might show that you're somewhere else than where you are actually. All right. Well, let's find the frequency and is this frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is this frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is frequency in use. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is frequency in use. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Can you guys hear the radio okay? CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. So I just got the ham alert.
Kilo Delta 8, Lima Hotel Radio.
Kilo Delta 8, Lima Hotel Radio. Sonny, good morning, 5-9.
Hey there, Gray Man. I got you at about a 5-5 into Oscar Hotel right across the line, Roger.
Copy the 5-5 into Ohio, my friend. Are you watching on the live stream this morning?
All right there, Gray Man. Good to make contact with you again. And 7-3C, my friend POTA, and I'll respond to you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate that. Have a great morning, my friend. 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. I really wish this the 891 had a voice here in there, just for times like this. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo Juliet 4, Whiskey Romeo Charlie.
Kilo Juliet 4, Whiskey Romeo Charlie. Andrew, good morning, 5-1.
Thank you for the contact. You are a 5656, but just about the noise board here. So, hard to copy. Hope you have a great activation. 73.
All righty. Thank you for the contact, Andrew. Have a good morning at 73, my friend. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
November Radio 8 Lima.
The November Radio 8 station.
November Radio 8 X-Ray, NR8X.
November Radio 8 X-Ray. Robert, good morning. 5-9 plus in the park.
Hi, QSL. Good morning to you. Thanks for activating your 5-9 in West Virginia. Whiskey Victor, QSL.
I got the 5-9 into West Virginia, my friend. You have a great morning at 73.
You do the same. Thank you.
All righty, thank you. Was there a station ending in Lima, Lima?
Alpha Bravo 8, Lima, Lima.
Alpha Bravo 8, Lima, Lima. Good morning, 5-9 plus.
Yeah, good morning. You're 5-9 in Michigan, Mike, India, 73.
All right, yeah, thanks to 5-9 into Michigan, my friend. You have a great morning today in 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. I'll have to look into that. Admittedly, I don't, I just power it up and get on the air and go. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
November Kilo Echo 6, Golf Alpha Echo.
Kilo Echo 6, Golf Alpha Echo. Dave, good morning, 5-9.
Hey, good morning, Jim. I got you about a 5-7 here to Mike Oscar.
All right, sounds good, my friend. I look forward to meeting up with you in a couple of weeks there out at the Moore Expo.
Yes, sir. I look forward to that too. I got a question for you since I got you on here real quick. There's a group here that does a newspaper. They'd like to interview you if it would be possible.
Oh, absolutely. Did they want to do something before the expo or during the expo?
It'll be at the expo, so we can do it there together if we want.
All right, sounds good, my friend. Let's get it scheduled.
Sure. Activate this one there, Tim. 7-3 and.
All right, thank you. Have a great day, my friend. 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ.
November 8, Hotel Alpha Papa.
Wow. November 8, Hotel Alpha Papa. Joseph, good morning, 5-9.
Yeah, QSL, how about you 5-5 up into northern Michigan?
All right, thanks to 5-5 up into northern Michigan, my friend. Have a great morning, 73.
73.
November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. Kilo 4, Mike India. Good morning. A little light there, but 4-7 in the park.
Roger. Yep, I had to hit the tune button there. Got a different antenna on here. I'm actually in a park myself. Thanks for your park. I'm in Virginia at US 2364 at 2364 near 5-7 here.
All right, I copied the 5-7 from US 2364. I'm not even going to pronounce the name of the state park there, my friend. But hey, have a great activation today. Appreciate the contact in 73.
73.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ.
November 4, Charlie Whiskey Bravo.
November 4, Charlie Whiskey Bravo. Craig, good morning, 5-9.
5-9, South Carolina, 73.
All right, 73, my friend. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo, Quebec 4, Papa Alpha Kilo.
Kilo, Quebec 4, Papa Alpha Kilo. Good morning, 5-9.
That's on the 5-9. You are 5-7, Victor Alpha.
All right, thanks to 5-7 into Virginia, my friend. You have a great day today in 73.
73.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. All right, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, US wide of 20 meters.
November Sierra 4, Tango Tango.
November Sierra 4, Tango Tango. Good morning, 5-5.
Roger, Roger. November Sierra 4, Tango Tango. Got you 5-5, Virginia, Victor Alpha.
All right, thanks to 5-5 into Virginia, my friend. You have a great morning at 73.
73.
All right, thank you. Was there another station there also?
India Charlie Papa.
Was it Kilo 9 India Charlie Papa?
Roger, Roger. Yes, it is. 5-5 Indiana.
All right, Kilo 9 India Charlie Papa. Bruce, good morning from Greenwood, Indiana, just up the road. I'm sorry, what was it, 5-5, my friend?
Roger, Roger. 5-5.
All right, you're up there. I just jumped up a little bit. I'm going to say 5-7 in the park this morning.
Roger up. Good luck out there today.
All right, thank you. Have a great morning at 73, my friend.
73.
All right, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ.
Kilo Charlie 3, kilowatt X-ray Romeo.
Kilo Charlie 3, kilowatt X-ray Romeo. John, good morning, 5-9.
Yeah, QSL 5-7 into Southern New Jersey today, Tim. Thanks a lot. Good luck, 7-3.
All right, 73, my friend. Have a great day today. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, CQ POTA. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
November 5, Kilo Golf Yankee.
November 5, Kilo Golf Yankee. Jerry, good morning, 5-9.
QSL, you 5-7-57. Good morning.
All right, thanks to 5-7, my friend. You have a great day today in 73.
130.
November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. I heard a very faint sound like Foxtrot Hotel Charlie.
Whiskey 9, Foxtrot Hotel Charlie.
Whiskey 9 Foxtrot Hotel Charlie. Stephen, good morning. You're about a 4-5 there, my friend.
Copy that. You're about a 5-5 over here in Park County, Indiana.
All right, you got in there just a little bit more. I'm going to bump you up to a 5-1. I copied the 5-5, my friend. You have a great day today. Thank you for the contact.
Thanks for being out there, Tim. 7-3.
All right, 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ Parks on the air, CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Whiskey 9, India Kilo Echo.
Whiskey 9 India Kilo Echo. Ike, good morning. 5-5.
I've got you 5-3 here in Salem, Indiana.
All right, I'll take the 5-3 into Salem, Indiana, just down the street there. So have a great morning, my friend. 73.
7-3 and have fun out there.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, CQ POTA. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. All right, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, US wide to 20 meters. So that wasn't too bad there. 40 meters, the 7 megahertz band does some shifting around. It gets really short when the sun is up, longer at night, meaning that if you think about if you look at a pool table and the angle that you would bank a ball off of the bumper, and the sharper the angle, the ball's going to come back to you. So the last two contacts, one was Greenwood, Indiana, one was Salem, Indiana, and those were like 20 5 miles from where I'm at. So 40 meters is one of those bands during the day that is used a lot for emergency communications because of that straight up and straight back down kind of usability. And they refer to that as NVIS, or near vertical incident skywave, just meaning that it's, once again, think about that pool table. If you shoot straight into the bumper, it comes straight back down. And it's good for more local or localized communication. And just looking at the map here, I'm getting about a 400-mile radius around me. So switching to 20 meters now, that is in the 14 megahertz band. That gets a little bit longer in the daytime. So it's more of that reach out and touch somebody on the other side of the country. So it's possible we'll start seeing, and then here are their blue dots for 40 meters. We'll start seeing people out west. A lot of that depends. I mean, it's still it's 3 hours behind. So 6:30 in California, your number of people may or may not be up activating. But here, Midwest, East Coast, Eastern Canada, down in the Caribbean, and potentially over in Europe too. So hopefully we'll get some more contacts. Yeah, 15 Qs, Jimmy, not bad. To me, everybody's a little bit different when they come out, and I'm gonna, if people have heard this from me, you're gonna hear it again, because I think that one of the things that a lot of people, when they do amateur radio, getting out and making those contacts, and I know, because I'm gonna raise my hand because I was this guy. I was terrified of it. I was terrified of making contacts, and even to be quite honest, I can ramble onto this camera like we're doing right now, but put me in a situation with somebody on the other end that I can't see, or I can't visualize their facial expressions and their reactions. I have a hard time with it. So I for the longest time only did digital contacts. JT65 was the name of the game, FT8 and FT4. So JT65, think of FT8, just 50 some seconds long in a transmission cycle, 50 some seconds long in a receive cycle. So your QSO took 6 to 8 minutes to complete. FT8 cut that down considerably to where you're doing 15-second or 12.5-second transmission cycles, and then FT4 cuts that even quicker. So you do get more contacts, and that's nice. But I think my first 6,000 contacts were just with that, because I didn't have to vocalize. I didn't have to talk to somebody. I didn't have to worry about their, reading them. Local repeaters are different. You tend to spend some time with people, the same people, different groups. When I would drive into work every day, I've got about an hour commute each way. You get to talking to the same people. You get to know them. You get to know personal things about them, and it's literally like talking to your next door neighbor kind of thing. And so that makes it a lot easier. But just talking to people randomly over the air sometimes is a little hard, and the downside to that is that I know I'm not the only one that has it. So you hear people go through this random kind of laundry list of things that they talk about when they're making a QSO with somebody remotely. And it's usually the weather report. Yeah, you'll always get a weather report. Amateur radio operators, for some reason, are fixated on their weather. And that's fine. It's there is an aspect of that with amateur radio and the public service, and and things like that, and being there during the time of emergency. And that's what this whole Parks on the Air program really, that's the underlying thing to this, is that I'm out here with a portable rig ready to go. I've got everything that I normally keep in the back of my truck, not for a public safety thing. It's really for just me to get out. I take targets of opportunity and find an opportunity to set up gear and get on the air. That's just dry run practice every time that if a tornado were to happen, and believe me, I know one ripped through about 1,000 feet from my house a couple of years ago. If stuff like that were to happen, I'm generally, through the act of doing Parks on the Air, ready to go in the event that there's an emergency. I've got 100 amp hours of battery in the back of the truck that stays charged, and I run my radios off of it, and it charges when the truck runs. And I'll go into that a little bit further when we start setting up outside. But so those are the kind of the things. I prefer the rapid, quick working stations. I know a lot of people like to just hunt where they go, and they track down the activators. They come over to this spotting page. Actually, while I'm here, get the frequencies moved over to a 20-meter one. And they'll just come through and work the parks as a hunter, and they'll do it while they're out in a park, and that's fine too. Problem is, though, is that when you're one of 20 people trying to make a contact with a single station, you may or may not get heard, especially if there's a pileup. You may or may not make a lot of contacts. This is why I like activating and working a pileup. The pileup part will come, and kind of working through that will come in time. It's not super hard. You just kind of got to train your brain to kind of isolate different sounds, and kind of be on the fly, be flexible, keep the process going. So sometimes I may only hear one or two characters, and I'll be like, Kilo 8 station, go ahead, and be on the fly and be able to type in things as we go. Is it hearing the full calls and memorizing them, utilizing the phonetic alphabet. It is something you practice with, and it comes in time. I do that all the time, like when I'm driving, and that's one way I actually practice that, besides just doing it, right, is driving down the roads and looking at people's license plates and ripping off, either out loud if I'm by myself. I don't do it with my kids in the car. They already think I'm cuckoo anyway, so I don't do it with them in the car out loud. But in my brain, I just rip off the phonetics there and the number, and I would just imagine that license plate was a call sign, and just practice those things and go with it. All right, so back to back off the soapbox there, and I've fulfilled my obligation of this being a learning experience. So we have bypassed the pecuniary interest of me live streaming amateur radio. This is a learning experience. This is the classroom of the future here, or actually the classroom of today. Looking at the spotting page, so 230 up to 324. So I'm sure somewhere in there we'll find a gap that I can jump in. And it doesn't look like there's anything from 270 to 300. So let's just look in that area. Oh, let me because I do not have a producer here. Let me swing back around to the antenna cam just so you guys can watch this. Oh, you know what? I probably should. Give you the radio, right? So for those of you that are not familiar with the ATOS, that is Yaesu's mobile antenna. Starting to see people put those on death spikes and put them in the ground with a radio field too, for remote. Now it moves up and down, and that uses what they refer to as bias current, or it's putting voltage out on the line, and if it's below, I think 10 volts, it goes down, and if it's above like 13 volts or whatever, it goes up, and the radio sends that voltage. So it takes a special radio to do that, and that's part of the ATOS system with Yaesu. You can use other radios with this antenna, but you have to have an external power source, and you have to manually, with like a selector switch, selector box, send that voltage. The way this ATOS system works is it puts it in a tuning mode that, much like you would use your tuner on your radio, it's got to put the radio in a mode where it's sending out a tone, and it's sampling the standing wave. It's looking at the frequency you're at, the position the antenna's at, and making the decision to send it a signal, to send it up or down. And it does that, and it's constantly sampling the standing wave. And you see when you look at the graph here that SWR says high, and eventually as it's moving, that thing goes down quickly and then finds a spot where it's good. I believe the system is set for anything below a 1.7 is good. I do have fine motor controls that I can do a quick adjustment. If I can squeeze a little bit more out of it, I will. But this works no differently in concept. It's a loaded inductive coil than like the Wolf River coils, or any of those adjustable sleeve inductive coils, where you are selecting a point where you're tapping into the coil to bypass the remaining part, and the inductance that's created makes that antenna either electrically longer or electrically shorter, which then adjusts the impedance, which then makes it closer to or further away from 50 ohms, which is where that and I don't know if a lot of people actually know that, but that's the 50 ohms. That's where it all comes in. If it's 100 ohms, then that gives you that 2-to-1. If it's 300 or 150 ohms, it's 3-to-1, and so on and so forth. So closer you get to 50 ohms, the happier your antenna and radio are, and the more power is being pushed out into the magnetic field, and not being restrained or restricted at the antenna through impedance and essentially just absorption in the form of heat. So that was the training thing there. So all right, so what did I say? Above 270. Is this frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. Is this frequency in use? November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. I just got the hand alert that my spot went out on 275. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo 7 Tango November Sierra.
Kilo 7 Tango November Sierra. Tom, good morning, 5-9.
Good morning. Got you 5-7 here in western Arizona, Alpha Zulu. Could you give me your call sign again phonetically, slowly, please?
Sure. My call sign is November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, NW9F.
Roger, Roger. Got you that time. Thank you, my friend. 73.
All right, 73, Tom. Have a great morning. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ POTA, CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
November 5 Echo Mike Park to Park.
November 5 Echo Mike. Scott, good morning. You are 5-9 into my park, US 4215, QSL.
Hey, thanks so much. I've got you 5-1 to 5-2. Pretty weak. I've got you into Texas. I'm at US 3058. Back to you.
All right, I copied the 5-1. I think it was 5152, my friend. And Park 3058, QSL.
QSL, thanks so much. Have a great activation. 7-3.
All right, 73, my friend. You have a great activation too. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ POTA, November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Papa.
Station ending in Papa.
Alpha Juliet 7 Charlie Papa. QSL.
Alpha Juliet 7 Charlie Papa. Matthew, good morning. 5-9 plus.
QSL on the 5-9 plus. I have you a 5-8 back to Tucson, Arizona. Alpha Zulu. QSL.
All right, thank you for the 5-8 into Tucson, Arizona, my friend. You have a great morning at 73.
Yeah, appreciate you being out there and taking the call. Good luck. 73.
All right, thank you. Good morning. All right, yeah, have a great morning. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot, QRZ. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. So it does look like across the board here between YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, X, and Rumble, we got about 70 people watching the stream right now. Up in the corner there's a QR code. If you've just stumbled across me and you're not sure who I am or what I am, if you click on that QR code, it'll take you to my website, but it'll have links to all my different social medias for whatever platform that you consume media on. And by all means, if amateur radio or what I'm doing here is something new to you and you're interested in it, feel free to reach out to me. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo India 5, Papa Hotel X-ray.
Kilo India 5, Papa Hotel X-ray. Scott, good morning, 5-9.
Roger. Have you about a 5-7 here in Central Texas?
All right, thank you for the 5-7 into Texas, my friend. You have a great morning at 73.
You too, 73.
All right, thank you. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo 1, Lake Romeo Echo.
Kilo 1, Mike Romeo Echo. Michael, good morning, 5-9.
QSL, have you about a 4 or 5 here in Connecticut, Charlie Tango.
All right, thank you for the 4-5 into Connecticut, my friend. You have a great morning at 73. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by. CQ Parks on the air. CQ Parks on the air. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air from US 4215, the Morgan Monroe State Forest. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot calling CQ Parks on the air and standing by.
Kilo 7, Sierra, Echo November.
Kilo 7, Sierra, Echo November. Neil, good morning, 5-9.
Good morning, Tim. You're also 9, Arizona. Appreciate another one, 7-3.
All right, 73, my friend. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot QRZ. November Whiskey 9 Foxtrot going QRT, QRT, QRT. All right, we'll go ahead and take a quick break here.
This is November 1, Uniform Victor Oscar.
All right. Get that in there real quick. So we started to get a little bit of reach out and touch someone. Just rip through this here real quick. Want to be mindful. Big Jim and T.O. are going to be streaming here at Ham Church in about 6 minutes. So I want to make sure we're wrapped up. So today's activation, not bad. 21 Qs, 36 minutes of actual in the log operating time. Three parked parks today, covered 12 U.S. states, 15 Qs on 40 meters, and looks like 6 on 20 meters. When I switched over to 220 meters, it looked like got to go to Ham Church. I'll tell you what, somebody I'm gonna run with this. Somebody said this is kind of like Bible study or Sunday school before you go to Ham Church. So I'm going to kind of run with that moniker and see how I can tie it in there, work with Jim and T.O. and see if we can't create something fun. But looking at the map here, we got a little bit further distance. I can't really see the screen, but it looks like 3 contacts out in the Arizona area. Got a couple in Texas, one up in the Northeast. 20 definitely is a much longer band at this point in the day, where we're shooting at a wider angle. The signal's going up, hitting the atmosphere, and coming back down. Problem is, though, got to have people up and awake. So it's just now coming up on 7 a.m. on the leading edge of the Pacific time zone. So, we're starting to see people. I don't know if they're Pacific or Mountain, but in that time frame, right? So we're either 2 hours, 3 hours behind where I'm at here in Eastern time. So, people are starting to wake up. They're getting their coffee. They're turning on the radio, and they're jumping on the POTA spotting page. So, but presumably in the next hour or so, everybody will be up across the United States, and 20 will be hopping pretty well. So not bad. It looks like Kilo 7 Tango November Sierra, 1,565 miles, radio miles over it. So over the air. That's distance from point A to point B over the ground. It'd be interesting to calculate what the actual distance is of where I sit, signal going up, reflecting off the atmosphere, the ionosphere, and coming back down, and what that distance is, how high they can estimate. It would all be estimates, right? But they can estimate how far above the ground the layer is, right? And then try to somehow do the math. And we're not going to do that on stream, but between my location and where that potentially could hit the atmosphere and then back down, I'm sure it's going to add a couple miles in there, and it may not be worth it. I don't know. So I'm going to probably, when Ham Church kicks off, get back on the air and continue to operate. But do appreciate everybody stopping by. Looks like we're up to 83 people. And once again, QR code up there in the top is links to my social media. Also, tonight, Jason, Ham Radio 2.0 will be live streaming. I'm not sure what the topic is tonight. Oh, actually, I think they're building the radio. They've got a kit radio they're building. But look for us. I'm not sure when he's going to do it, but I'm assuming maybe next weekend. We're getting ready to, a group of us are going to be heading out to the More Expo, which is a overlanding event in the Midwest, out in Springfield, Missouri. And if you were on earlier, I was speaking to Kilo Echo 6 Golf Alpha Echo, the Hillbilly Ham, over the air. He lives local there, so we're going to be a whole group of us going out and spreading the good word in the overlanding community. We're like myself, we like to camp and get out, so we'll be going there, and we'll be meeting up and with the local radio group out there, and hopefully having a good time. So that'll be coming up. Also, the Ham Radio Kids Table every Wednesday night. There's a group of us. We are a little bit more younger focused in amateur radio and not necessarily hanging on to the ways of the past. So hopefully trying to bring in the next generation of amateur radio and electronics enthusiasts. So all right, I am going to get out of here. Once again, guys, 73. Have a great day today. Enjoy the Sunday. And let the guys know, T.O. and Big Jim, that the fat guy with the beard sent you there. Have a great day.